Welcome back. And in this module 6.4, we're going to look at best practice planning principles and some of the latest tools that we've developed as part of the program. So let's dive in. We have within the Inspire Sales Toolkit, which I will attach to this module, you will notice that in the last 18 months, we've really started to sharpen our planning tools and the principles. We've done that through the work we're doing with clients and just making sure that we're continually updating and improving the tools that you have access to as part of this program. So let's talk a bit about planning tools. We're going to talk about four tools that are in the toolkit. First one is about pipeline management. Second one is about stakeholder management, when you get to larger, more complex opportunities and you're thinking, how do I make sure that I'm managing everybody that's in the process here effectively? Stakeholder management is the answer. Then we've got account planning. If you don't have an account planning process in your business, then this is really useful, simple, single plan on a page. And then finally, if you are working through distributors, resellers, or with partners, then actually having a way to manage those partners, especially if you've got multiple partners, multiple salespeople within a distributor that you might be working on, then how do you manage them effectively? We'll look at that in the planning tools as we go through this next module. So pipeline management, you will see in the toolkit under the planning stages, there is pipeline management. Now, even if you're using a CRM system, what you may find is the same as I found when I was in the corporate world, is that even with a really good CRM system like Salesforce or HubSpot, or there's lots of them out there, you will find that sometimes it's really difficult to just get a single point of visibility of all of your opportunities and customers. And so we developed this pipeline management tool so that you could get a single page where all of your most important opportunities will be reviewed and updated. And you'll see here, really simple, you've got simple fields: account name, the key stakeholder, that's the person that you are connecting with and you think is the key person that's going to drive this opportunity forward, their position in the company, and then this column here is role. So that's role in the sales process. And you'll remember this from our different stakeholder management sessions where we talk about champion, decision maker, budget holder, influencer, disruptor, or time sink. Now, hopefully the person who's sitting on your pipeline management tool is either going to be a champion, a decision maker, maybe a budget holder, but should be a champion or a decision maker, really. Then we've got the focus product. What is it you're selling to them? Then we've got the account value. What's it worth today? Then the opportunity value. What's the increased value that it's worth? And then the total potential, which is a sum of those two columns. We've then got sales stage. The sales stage links to the stages in a CRM process. So we've got introduce, we've got presentation, we've got evaluation, we've got decision, launch, scale up, and then entitlement is when you've got to the point where there's the most amount of business in that account that you believe you can get. So we've got all of those different stages, and your opportunities that are growth opportunities should live in some kind of form where you can track them. And then finally, we've got projected close. When do we think we're going to close it, close the opportunity, and to a point where you're satisfied that you have progressed it far enough? Then we've got status, and that is simply on track or off track. There's no in between. And then finally, we've got the action. What's the next key action for that opportunity within your pipeline? And I use this personally in my business. What I find it helps me to do is just come back to, okay, where are my key opportunities? Where should I focus my time? I'll look at this once a week just so it recalibrates my attention and focus. So feel free to pick that up and start using that. It really will help you to really focus in on your key opportunities and progress them more effectively. Next is, identify top 20 customers. I would say, what's your next year look like? Plot those customers, put them in the pipeline management tool, and that's really going to help you to focus. Next is managing stakeholders. When you've got a large key account, or maybe it's a partner account that you're working with, and there are a lot of different people that are influencing and being involved in decisions that are made, sometimes it can be really difficult to manage all of those people within your CRM. So what we do with our clients is we pull together what we call a stakeholder management matrix. And what this allows you to do is just map for that account. So you put the account name, the product opportunity that you're working on. There might be multiple products, put multiple products, the value of the account today, and the potential value in future. And that really helps you to understand, is this a significant opportunity that I should be managing more strategically? Then you've got the name of the person, their position in the organization, and the role in the sales process, again, from the same pipeline management tool. Then we have current status. Now, that current status is, are they unsupportive, neutral, supportive, or an advocate? So where are they today? And then, of course, just as important, what's the status required? Where do I need them to be for this opportunity to progress? And then simple next action is, what do I do next? What's the key action I need to take to make this person, as part of my stakeholder management process, supportive, or get them to the point where I need them? It's really, when you map this out and just simply plot it, you will start to see the gaps in your stakeholder management. So my recommendation is always take one key account, get the first account, your most important account today, the focus over the next 12 months, plot it on the stakeholder management matrix, and you can start to think about other people in your business that you might bring in to help support that opportunity with that customer. So that's stakeholder management. We covered pipeline management, stakeholder management. We're going to cover 4 tools in this module. Third tool is an account planning tool. So this is, if you haven't got a way to look at your key customers and manage that account as a whole, outside of the stakeholder management tool, this can be useful. So it's a combination of a number of different tools that we've used. You'll see it's got account name, location, website, details, phone, then the priority if you have a priority way of ranking them, and then the account type if that's important to you. Then you've got your key contacts. So what's the name, the position, the role in the sales process as before. You've got relationship status, which is the same. There's that unsupportive, neutral, supportive, advocate. Then we've got actions around that relationship, and then you've got status, and the status is on track, off track. So that's what's the status with that person within the account. Then you've got products used today and the value, and you've got additional value that could be used by that product. So let's say you've got someone using, I don't know, £10,000 a year, but they're spending about 20 or 30, then the additional value is that uplift that you could get from pursuing that product within that customer. You've then got product opportunity. So what are the products, the additional products that they're not using that you think they could? And then what's the sales stage of that product opportunity? And what's the value of that product within that account? And then you've got a status there. Is it on track or off track? And you'll see some sums that are created at the bottom here as well. So in terms of an account plan on a page, it's a really useful way to get all of the information about a key customer together in one place. And you can duplicate the tabs and use that as a framework. If you want to use that for multiple accounts, then you've got the option to do that. This is very similar when I managed large distribution channel accounts. I had about 6 distributors that I managed and about 5 corporate accounts, and I had 11 account planning tools that I created. So I had 11 account plans. It just meant for every time I had an upcoming visit with that customer, I'd go to my account planning tool, update it, make sure that I knew what I was working on and how I was focusing. Fourth and final session. So I'd advise, if this is useful, take number 1 key account for the focus over the next 12 months, create a plan, see how you feel that works for you, and whether or not that gives you that focus that you're looking for. Final area, if you're dealing with distributors or dealers or resellers within your role, then this is a really useful tool. This is called a dealer rep management tool. What it allows you to do is start to think about the dealers that you're working with. If you're working with a distributor and they have multiple reps within the territory, and I've worked in multiple businesses where that is the case, we have partners or resellers that we're working with, then being able to capture on a single page your top 10 to 20 dealer reps. And I always think about dealers and partner reps as being almost like a second sales force that we engage. And if you can get this right and they work with you, then it's really beneficial for your business. And if we look here, you've got dealer name as the first column, then you've got the dealer representative. So who is the person within that dealer? You've then got their position. What's their role? Are they a key account manager, or are they one of the sales team, or are they one of the marketing team, or depending on the complexity of the account you're managing? What's their geography? What's their customer engagement like? So that customer engagement, is it excellent, good, neutral, poor, or are you unsure? Because if you've got someone that's not engaging customers properly, that's your first sense check. Is this someone I want to spend time with? Then you've got, as well as their customer engagement, you've got their selling proactivity. Now, you'll know this is important because some dealers, if you're working with dealers, some dealers have really good relationships, but they're not very proactive in selling anything other than themselves and their business. And if they're not going to be able to sell your business, your product portfolio proactively, then again, it's another prioritization element that we can use. Then we've got the relationship with your business. This was an example from a client I was using, but it'd be your business relationship. And that relationship would be, are they a preferred partner? Are they supportive? Are they neutral, unsupportive, or is there no relationship? So we're measuring dealer relationship with that customer, and we're measuring ours or your relationship with that customer as well. Then we've got frequency. How often should you be visiting them, do you think, on a regular basis? And if you've only got 10 to 20 accounts, you could be seeing some of these people a couple of times a month, fortnightly. In the early stages of a relationship, you might be seeing people more frequently than that. But map your frequency, and then you can start to see whether you're on track or not, which brings us to status, which is on track or off track. And then we've got key action required. And it's a really nice way of being able to measure your ability to manage those relationships and really think about how proactively you are able to utilize your dealer rep network as a second sales force within your territory. So identify your top partners, top reps for focus over the next 12 months. If it's useful, plot them out on the dealer rep planner. And I'd love to hear your feedback on this. How have you found getting on with these 4 key planning tools? These are all within the Inspire Sales Toolkit. I'll put that in the comments of this video so you'll be able to get it as a document link straight away. And I look forward to seeing you on the next session. I'd love to hear your feedback on how these different planning tools work for you. You don't have to use them all, but I wanted to create enough options so that as you start to think about building the right plan for your role and responsibility and your business, that you have these options, this menu of options that you can start to select. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. The next video, final video in our planning stage, module 6.5, we're going to be talking about sales target planning. How do we start to plan to really, really over-deliver against target? I'll see you on the next module.